I wanted to talk to you about humans. I am a professor of philosophy in New York, and I teach students about these kinds of things, how to study humans and why it's important. But I also run a consultancy that's a partner of Cognizant. And we are all human scientists. So we are sociologists, anthropologists, some are historians that have a particular perspective on human beings. I have mostly, as an advisor, been working with traditional companies, food companies, healthcare, life science. But lately, the big technology firms, the most advanced ones, have been asking me different kinds of questions. So the most cutting-edge companies end up having these very human questions. And I want to talk to you today about how one might study that. And the answer is humans need to study that. We need to study that. And this, of course, leads to a problem with digital transformation. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. We absolutely should. And I think you'll get in trouble if you don't deal with it. But you need to consider the human problems as well. And that is, first and foremost, we humans are individuals. We are self-contained entities that can make our own choices, that know what we want and desire, and that can report pretty accurately about what we want, which is the individual in the center. And this is how we do it. So we go out with people, we try to understand what their life is like. And this is an example of being with people in the Midwest and being in their trucks. So basically these big machines that can do a lot for them. The way we designed them and the way, in this case, the Ford Motor Company thought about trucks was about technical capability, so towing capacity, power, speed, and so on. But it turned out that if you stop looking at the car or the vehicle by itself and start looking at the relations the vehicle had with culture, with the environment, with the world that these people lived in, there was a very different picture. And here we found that owning a truck, particularly in the Midwest in America, which is where the main market is not so much about towing and technical capability. It's about being a good member of the community. When you buy a vehicle, you show everyone that you want to help. And in this part of the world, it's very closely connected to Christianity. So being a good Christian. So buying a truck is not just about the technical capacity and all those things. It's also about being part of a community, and it's a symbol of that. It's a tool and a piece of equipment to be part of a community. That's quite important if you want to develop these things, develop services for it, develop a deal with the data streams that they create, and of course, understand their experiences of the customers. We also just looked at where do we invest and what activities are important to people. So here is just a map of that. We've just found that these are all the different activities that you see here are the kinds of things that are important to people. But the thing we spent all the money on was a digital technology of backing up the truck to position it. And it turned out that was just one thing. So we had to invest in many other areas. So the digital business of Ford has exploded since then because they understood we need to develop services for all these kinds of activities, and most of those things are data-driven and digital. But it came from this insight of the kinds of activities that were meaningful to people. It didn't come from an assumption. It didn't come from a hypothesis. It came from attention to people, listening to them, trying to understand them. I think there are many things we can do with algorithms right now. I think it's even more important than ever to start with humans and think about how humans might react to a technology.